Sitting Bull as an American icon. How one man changed the white perspective of the New World. Sitting Bull was born into the Sioux in 1831, a large Native American tribe that roamed the Dakota Territory, located next to what is now known as Grand River. Although originally named Jumping Badger, his name was changed to the more fitting Sitting Bull, representing his bison-like demeanor in the way he would stand his ground and fight instead of run. He also earned the nickname Hunkisi, meaning slow, reflecting his careful contemplation and steady way of thinking an issue through. As the son of Jumping Bull, Sitting Bull became the leader of the tribes, regarded as the holy man of the Hunkpapa Lakota tribe. He participated in some of the most famous wars between the Native Americans and the United States government, the most famous of all being the Battle of Little Bighorn, which took place between the 25th and the 26th of June 1876. The battle was part of the Great Sioux War, which had arisen due to gold being found in the Black Hills that the Sioux and Cheyenne tribes refused to give up to the U.S., igniting a war over the territory. Cultural anthropologist Candace Green describes Sitting Bull in the following way: a great warrior, able to claim many war deeds recognized by the Lakota as particular strokes of honor, including capturing horses, and killing, capturing, or striking enemies. As he aged, he became a respected political leader, building a large following as a band leader as well as carrying wider influence among the Lakota. He was both a military and spiritual leader during the Sioux War of 1876. It is easy to see from the perspective of Green, an outsider to the tribe, why he became an icon to other Native Americans. His tales of heroism and defiance inspirational as he stands against the encroaching white man, similar to that of David versus Goliath. The Battle of Little Bighorn was Sitting Bull's greatest act of defiance. After supposedly seeing U.S. troops invading Lakota territory, he rallied 2,000 Native American tribesmen to intercept a battalion led by General Custer. Caught off guard, Custer's men, of which there were fewer than 700, were pushed back, and almost half of them slaughtered in the conflict, with Lakota casualties only amounting in the low tens. As the battle saw General Custer killed, public opinion of the Sioux turned sour, and the U.S. sent thousands of soldiers to secure the reservation, causing Sitting Bull to retreat. A few months after the victory against Custer, Sitting Bull and his tribe moved to Canada to settle for 5 years, but moved back to the U.S. in 1881, where Sitting Bull started working as a performer for the renowned Buffalo Bill's Wild West show. This moment in Sitting Bull's life is quite an interesting one, as such a fierce opponent of the European colonists joining a white man's show highlights something sort of hypocritical. It is said that in Bill's performances, Sitting Bull would take on the role of the Indian, a figure of mockery and jeering for the crowd, of which he was paid $50 a week for portraying. With such a naturalistic upbringing, it is hard to say what motivated Sitting Bull to integrate himself into the settlers' culture, earning their money and dealing with their businesses, although it is said he did to bridge the divide between his people and the white race, using his appearances to ask for equality in treatment and education, though unconfirmed sources claim he only wanted to curse his audience. Leaving the show after 4 months, Sitting Bull, not satisfied with his efforts alongside Buffalo Bill, went on to once again reject the lives of the white man, and decided to move to Standing Rock, where he was to join a religious practice known as the Ghost Dance. The Ghost Dance is one of the more commonly misinterpreted elements of Sitting Bull's life, as his great-grandson Early LaPuante explains, claiming the man who started the movement, a native by the name of Jack Wilson, his white name, designed it in the hope of uniting the white people and Indian tribes harmoniously as a reward for their work, ridding them of sickness, disease, or old age. But as it spread to the other tribes, the cause quickly became subverted to something far more militant, with it being said that the natives were trying to bring back their dead to fight the settlers. James McLaughlin of Fort Yates decided it was time to move against Sitting Bull. Whilst not necessarily believing the myth, The US government opposed the movement due to the way it attracted thousands of previously unaligned or non-combative natives to Sitting Bull's cause, and an uprising of this kind so close to US territory would cause untold casualties on both sides, and could well hinder expansion westwards for a long time to come. With Sitting Bull a proven leader and a spiritual herald among the Sioux, the US decided to deal with the ghost dance head-on, and James McLaughlin, the US's Indian agent of Fort Yates, gave the order to arrest Sitting Bull before he could escape the reservation to join the movement. During the arrest, Sitting Bull resisted, leading to a skirmish that left 6 policemen and 8 Lakota, including Sitting Bull, dead, as he was shot twice, once in the chest and once in the head. Sitting Bull has, in modern day, become an icon of heroism across American cultures, held in much the same esteem as any white man might be commemorated. He demonstrated his bravery and skill in numerous battles, risking his own freedom and life in order to protect the people of his tribes and the beliefs and traditions of the native roots. Although for a long time he was portrayed and viewed by many of the white men and colonists as a savage, more recent interpretations of him have changed somewhat, due in part to his ancestors openly educating people about his life and the struggle of Native Americans. Nowadays, the brutality that the natives were met with is a mark of shame in the collective history of the US, a racial genocide that Sitting Bull stood up to, defying the stereotyped images of the native savage, in a sense becoming a martyr for his culture and their ideals, changing American views to allow Indians to coexist alongside them. As a small tribute, Legoland Billund in Denmark put up their largest Lego statue to date in 1974 to mark the impact of Sitting Bull in Western history. It is the largest Lego statue in the world, consisting of 1.4 million bricks, placing his legacy at the forefront of the Euro-American culture. With such a legacy, it is hard to bury the lessons of Sitting Bull, but it is not without controversy. Ernie Lapointe wrote in his biography of Sitting Bull of an instance where at the Standing Rock Sioux Reservation the name was met with curses and insults, the tribe eager to tell him that Sitting Bull had nothing to do with them, as he was merely a coward and a troublemaker. So whilst he has become a representative of the beliefs and values that the Lakota tribe held so long ago, his name is still synonymous among some circles with wrongdoing and a less than proud heritage. No matter the disparate feelings, though, it is hard to ignore him as a figure ingrained in the centre of US history, a key American icon who made the US reevaluate its notions of freedom and culture.